Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe F1 2019. It's Division 1 of course, and it's round 8 here in the streets of Monaco, the Côte d'Azur, on the Azure coast in southern Monaco. As always, I'm James Head 14. I'll be bringing you the action here tonight in Monaco. We are going to be racing 36 laps around here tonight in Monaco, I do believe. Or 39 laps, I think, maybe. But coming into tonight's race, it is going to be very interesting to see who is going to be out on top, because we are going to be racing at night. It is absolutely fantastic. We're going to be racing at night, all three races. So Division 1, Division 2, which you'll be seeing later on, and Division 3, which is now live also on the other stream. That we are all racing at night, so it's going to be very intriguing to see who is going to be out on top. I started the stream a little bit early. Some of you, I would think maybe all of you who are tuning in might be aware of a medical update that came through last night from Juan Manuel Carrera and his company. Juan Manuel has now been taken out of an induced coma. He is conscious but not yet fully awake. Hopefully, praying that he is going to pull through. He will be requiring major leg surgery on his right extremity, I do believe. So basically it's the bottom right of his leg, which is such a shame to have something like that happen, and I'm sure everyone here in the League of Europe community, and indeed throughout the whole wider picture of the motorsport community, will like to send their best wishes to Juan Manuel and keep fighting, because I know Juan Manuel will be a fighter, and I'm sure he is going to be recovering to the best of his ability, and let's hope all of us for a positive outcome for Juan Manuel. But focusing on tonight, we are here at Monaco, of course. I do have championship standings to run through before we get going. We have got 12 drivers in so far. A little bit down on the attendance. We've had a couple of retirees from the season. We've had Harrison David pull out. We've got Marquez has pulled out as well. Jesse CA993. Yanel and Lewis were already out, of course, through the first two rounds. So all of them have retired, which is a shame. We would have liked to see them participating here tonight in League of Europe, and indeed for the rest of the season in League of Europe. We're just up to 13 drivers now in the lobby. Montana out on top. Of course, he did take the win last time out in Italy, scoring his third win in a row. Fourth win of the season, of course, if you count the one in Australia. He is out in front on 152 points. Rafa not attending here tonight. He apparently cannot be bothered. Rafa can't be bothered to do Monaco. Absolute tragedy. He's in second though on the championship on 108 points. 2 wins to his name this season, and 2 third places last time out in Spain and Italy. We've got Harrison David, who's recently retired, in third on 76 points. Then it's a bit of a gap down to Cantera, who leads the best of the rest on 49 points, while Luigi in 5th on 45, tied with Wouters on 45, and congratulations to Wouter on getting through into the next stage of the F1 esports playoffs. Fantastic news. One of our own here at League of Europe getting through there. I'm sure everyone will like to send him best wishes as well. YHYY on 39 points, with Joom in YHYY in 7th. In 8th is Joom, tied with Bullet Boy on 34 points. Then it's ILRT Sterling filling out the top 10 on 33. Massina, formerly known of course as Technique Gaming, he is in 11th, reserve driver on 26 points. Dakar on 21, Xjavi on 21, Rick on 20, Larkin on 13, V5HRL on 8, got Killer Blue on 8 as well. Just looking further down, we've got Game Boys on 4 points, F1 Racer is on 4 points, as is Gary Donegan. We've also got Owen HVB on 3, Chapelelli on 3, and Maledictus has yet to score a point either. So that is the rundown of the drivers' standings, constructor standings as well coming into tonight. Williams out on top, obviously, with Montana and Rafa out on top. 260 points for Williams so far this season, and only 7 rounds in, looking very good for them. Ferrari in second on 121, followed by Renault in third on 83. That is, of course, Joom and Cantera. Alfa Romeo in fourth on 67, with Toro Rosso in fifth on 59. Sport Pesa Racing better known as Racing Point, in this game on 6th on 58 points, just a point behind Toro Rosso. Mercedes on 42, we've got Red Bull on 12, McLaren on 11 and Haas on 4 points. Nobody, no constructor is going to be going home with the dreaded nil points, which I think is fantastic news coming into tonight. And if you are not familiar with this track, I'm sure you all are, but just for those who might be tuning in and aren't familiar with Monaco, of course we have got, this is one of the legendary tracks in Formula 1, home to some famous moments over the years. Of course, most recently I think my personal, not favourite moment, but one of my personal highlight moments I think was Verline getting flipped into the wall at Portier by Jenson Button, catching underneath the rear of the right-hand wheel at the rear of the car. That was a very, very heart-stopping moment, I think, for everyone watching. Thank goodness he was okay. But of course, as I mentioned, Portier, one of the big famous corners on this name. They've got the Nivelle chicane, the piscine, the swimming pool section, and of course we have got Las Casas and up through Beau Rivage and Casino Square. And of course, this is where the glitz and the glamour meet, all entwined. Got 14 drivers here tonight. I'm going to have a quick check of the comment section just before we get underway here at Monaco. Of course, it is nighttime racing here tonight, so it is going to test the drivers to the best of their ability, I think. Looking through the grid, we've got YHYY, Montana, Waluigi, X-Jarry, Bullet Boy, Rick, Killer Blue, who's in the McLaren this time, right, Messina in the Renault, with Game Boys in the Haas, Cantera in the Renault, Sterling in the Alpha, Wouters, who is here, thank goodness, Racing Point for Wouters. Kooky Games, brand new driver, the Slovenian, was due to make it last week. He is going to be taking the place in the Red Bull. Maledictus there for the Portuguese. Could have a good chance of getting points here tonight. He's of course in the Haas, and you just want to ignore that bottom name, who's the spectator. That is of course me. But coming into tonight's race, I'm just going to check through the comments section. Montana, good evening. Happy New Year, says Real. I think you're a couple of months too early for that, to be honest. But having retired, damn, that was he was so good and was the reigning champ. It is a shame. It is a shame. Obviously, I can't really speculate on why he has retired. I think it might have been something to do with the Marquez's incident in Baku a couple of races back. Of course, we wish everyone well that has retired out of League of Europe well, in whatever league that they're going to be competing in, or whatever leagues they're going to be competing in the future. Just coming and having a look at the section. I'm doing very well. You will have to cope with me if I do cough and splutter and have to take regular breaks during tonight. Please ignore that, because I am a bit full of flu at this moment in time. It might not sound like it, but I think it is sadly the case for me that I have got the flu, which is a shame. Cantera says 14th. Cantera predicted himself in 14th place. Don't like to predict anyone in 14th place, to be honest. And Raikkonen coming in saying Montana and Messina, an SX support there for the two drivers, and I do believe that might be Messina himself commentating there tonight. 14 drivers though going to be out on track here at the legendary Monaco circuit. Of course, 3 compound of tyres here tonight in Monaco. It's the softs, the hards and the medium compound of tyre awaiting the drivers here tonight. Only one DRS zone. I do apologise about a black box just coming up on my screen there. It was just somebody accepting a friend request. Only one DRS straight. It is on the DRS, it is on the start-finish line. Montana is going to be the first one out on track, the current leader of the championship, running now up through Beau Rivage and into Massenet in Casino Square, turns 3 and 4. This is Massenet coming through Casino Square now. Of course, these guys are on outlaps. If you do have a top 3 prediction, do put it in the comment section. Of course, we'd love to hear your interaction here tonight in Division 1 of League of Europe. Division 3 currently getting more viewers than us. I suspect quite a few of those people will be coming over to here, because this is going to be the best action here tonight in League of Europe. Montana just going through Portier. As I mentioned, that is the corner that Verline flipped the car just a couple of seasons ago. I think it was in 2017, if I do remember. There's Button flipping them back in the day. Hopefully no crashes or no DNFs out of this qualifying section. Everyone gets through safely. Of course, this is a traditional street circuit. This is everyday life. This is these are roads in Monaco that are used for everyday life. There are buses that go down here, lorries go down here even as well. So there's a bit of a change seeing 14 Formula 1 cars going around the track tonight. But Montana is going to open up the taps on the run down towards turn 1, which is Santa Vot, opens up that DRS, the sole DRS straight here. Coming through Santa Vot, looking very nice there through turn 1. Now up through Beaurivage at turn 2, that is turn 2. Now through Massenet into turn 3, which is this left-hander here, there's the curb on the inside. Through Casino Square at turn 4, then running down towards Mirabeau at turn 5, and then the Grand Hotel hairpin at turn 6. Of course, very famous hotel this on the right-hand side of your screens. You might just not be able to see it out of camera shot, but there is a hotel there. Montana now coming through the exit of Mirabeau Bass, and now through Portier at turn 8. Then under the tunnel section, if this is wet conditions, the only part will be, the only dry part of the track will be in the very close to the wall there, into the Naval chicane. Then through turn 12 at Tabac, very interesting to see how he takes the line through here. Very nice, 51.3, looking very quick early. He has got a Red Bull ahead, I think it's Kooky Games, the debutant in the Slovenian, getting out of the way on the outside of Raskas there, good to see. Through Raskas he goes, and then through Antinoges, coming through turn 19, and now opens up the taps towards the line. We're going to have a one-away team already. 1.9 flat from Montana. What a great lap that is, beating my time trial time, which I think just shows me up a little bit too much. Montana though out on top so far. We have got other drivers of course out on track. YHYY, the Finn, is just coming through which again, there is a Toro Rosso right wing end plate I think that has gone missing somewhere out on track. Have a feeling that might have been Rick. YHYY coming through onto the final corner and through to line. 10.3 for YHYY goes ahead, and Wouters fresh from his F1 Esports playoff, fresh from F1 Esports, he is setting a 109.5 to set second. It's Montana, Wouters and Killer Blue out on top, however. We'll come across the line with Waluigi though, and the Ferrari taking as deep a line as possible. 109.9, that is an invalidated lap however for Waluigi. Everyone out on track, which is good to see. Rick about to come across the line. He has got that right side end plate damage, I do believe. He came across the line to go third there with a 109.7, and I do believe there is right side end plate damage on that car. There has to be, unless it was from a Red Bull, I could only think. I'm pretty sure that was a Toro Rosso wing plate that came off. Anyways, one ball with Messina, the other NSX driver here tonight, very close to the Navel chicane on the inside. Goodness me, you don't want to be overcooking it now, you'll be out of the session. Messina taking no prisoners here with this lap. 51.1 through the middle sector. This is quick from Messina, the Finn, and there, what I talked about, the right side end plate has gone flying off on the exit of the chicane, the swimming pool sector, turn 15 and 16. He is about to come across the line though. Is he going to go top at this? He will. Oh, it's just shy. 1800ths off. Messina and Montana, the two NSX boys, dominating out in front. 5 minutes through qualifying. Montana on top, Messina second. With that front wing damage, I think he would have went a little bit quicker than that. Wouters in third early on, with Rick in fourth and Killer Blue rounding off the top 5. Cantera coming through Raskas now, the Spaniard, the sole Spaniard. Of course, Messina filling in for Doom, who was not attending here tonight, but Cantera about to come across the line now. Could go 5th with this, I think. Just go shy of that, goes 6th with a 110 flat. So it's P14, definitely not going to be happening unless everyone improves behind him. Bullet Boy then on a lap. He's coming through the Navel chicane at turns 10 and 11. Looking very nice through there. Then coming through to the back at turn 12 with Louis Chiron at 13. Swimming pool section at 14, looking very nice there from Bullet Boy. Coming through now into Raskas, through 15 and 16, then into 17 at Raskas, then through turns 18 and 19. There's a little kink on the inside there, does count as a corner through Anthony Noges. Bullet Boy then on the run to the line is going to go into P4 with a 109.5. Very nice lap there from Bullet Boy to go P4 with a 109.5. Still Montana and Messina separated by 1800ths out on track, and we've got quite a few drivers on outlaps currently. Maledictus is one of those notable ones that are on an outlap. He's the only driver on the grid here tonight, apart from Kooky Games, who have yet to score points here tonight. Hopefully that will change here tonight for the Portuguese man, and of course for the Slovenian, the debutant Kooky Games, who is here tonight. Maledictus though will ride on board with a lap here at Monaco. Coming into turn 1 at Sandavot. Don't want to ride that apex too much because you can pick up an invalidation. Up the hill now through Beau Rivage and Massenet into turns 2 and 3. This is Massenet at turn 3. Then through Casino Square, the right-hander at turn 4. Very close to the inside there. Just rubbing against the inside of the wall. 18.4 through the first sector. Lock up down into Mirabeau. Now coming through the Grand Hotel hairpin. There it is on the right-hand side, the Grand Hotel. Maledictus then coming through Mirabeau Bass and then through Portier turn 8. Looking very nice here. Portuguese driver just a little bit hesitant on the throttle there coming out of Portier, but now through the tunnel section picks up the pace once again, reaches about 178 miles an hour. There is a car off on the inside there. Not sure who that might be. Is that X-Jarry? It is X-Jarry, the Mercedes. The sole Mercedes out on track. Just getting out of the way of Maledictus, which is good to see. Ooh, had to correct himself there. Nearly went into the wall, and that's what I talk about. The walls, there are plenty of errors to be made here in Monaco, and I think that might be the end of Maledictus' lap, and he does decide to come back into the pits. So let's see how the debutant, though, is getting on. Kooky Games, currently coming through the middle sector. I think he's just invalidated this, in fact. Yeah, 52.8 through the middle, he has invalidated this lap. We'll ride on board then with somebody else. In the meantime, let's go on board. Montana, 3 tenths up, goes quickest with a 108.5. Very nice lap there from the Swiss man. Wouters is 2 tenths up, but I have a feeling that could be an invalidation there. Wouters coming through Raskas. Still going on this lap, the German. Wouters through the final corner. Looking good. Could go ahead of Messina here with this lap. Goes just shy, improved by 4 tenths of a second, goes just shy by about a tenth of a second there, just behind Messina. As we approach halfway in qualifying, it's Montana, Messina and Wouters out on top, filling out the top 3 out on track. ILRT Sterling was just coming across the line. I think we've got Killer Blue just coming across the line as well. He is just came down by about 7 tenths on that lap. Just trying to pick up on somebody that is on a lap here. While Ouija looks like he's on a lap, yet to set a time with coming through Portier now at turn 8. Looking very nice through that. There is a yellow flag in sector 2. I have a feeling that'll be somebody getting out of the way just down at the Nivelle chicane here. Yellow flags are removed. Very nice inside foot of the curb there by Waluigi. Just enough to stay within an invalidation. 51.7 through the middle sector, looking good. Coming through the swimming pool section, the piscine section as they call it in Monacanese. Luigi coming through into Anti-Narges now, turns 18-19 again, just missing the apex slightly there. Luigi is going to improve, he hasn't set a time yet, 109.8 sticks him up into 6th place. Currently, everyone that's set a time separated by roughly 1.8 seconds, I make that as. ILRT Sterling has just gone through Sandavot. He's improved on a lap with a 109.8. Nice lap there. The 2 Sauber boys, 4th and 6th at the minute, Bullet Boy and Sterling. But Montana, Messina, Wouters is still your top 3. They're separated by 6 tenths. Out on track, and in fact Messina has just gone quicker, 108.666. Calling out all the 6s. Not like it's a game of bingo. But Messina with a 108.6, very nice lap there from the reserve driver. Of course, he's filling in for Doom tonight. Messina coming through sector 1. Maledictus is just coming through sector 1, very close to the inside there again. 18.7 through the first sector, not looking as confident on that lap as possible. In the meantime, we'll go on board with, we'll keep on board with Maledictus in fact, so I think he's the only one that is out on a lap at this moment in time. That's Bullet Boy is. Bullet Boy is on a lap, he's just coming through into Raskas now. 10th and a half up in that middle sector, and the Sauber looking good. Wing plate still intact through Anti-Narges. Bullet Boy on the way to the line is going to improve, goes 2 tenths quicker, just behind Wouters by just over 2 tenths of a second now. So Wouters P3, Bullet Boy still P4, but improves ahead of Rick. Still got Maledictus on that lap. Oh, and that's not what you like to see when you come back on board with the driver. Clean invalidation there from Maledictus. Coming back into the pits. Drivers being caught out here. Kooky Games and Maledictus yet to set a time. X-Jarry in the meantime did set his lap on a set of mediums. The only one tonight that we have seen on a set of mediums. Set a soft compound of tyre now coming out for X-Jarry. A 10.1 was the lap that he set on a set of medium compound of tyres. But Montana, Messina and Wouters still filling out the top 3. Bullet Boy is down on his lap. So we'll ride on board with the current provisional pole setter Montana once again. Maladictus driver. Can he go quicker than a 108.5? I highly doubt it, but we'll see. Montana through turn 1 then, coming up towards Beaurivage and Matinee, turns 2 and 3. Now coming into Matinee, turn 3. Casino Square at turn 4, looking very nice through there. Sub 18 first sector for Montana. Ooh, 18.2, he's a 10th up through the first sector. Very nice first sector there for Montana, looking clean. Coming through the Grand Hotel hairpin at turn 6. Cutting the inside, you can pick up an invalidation there. Not using up totally as much EOS, just saving a little bit towards the end of the lap here. He comes now into the tunnel section, through Portier, now into the tunnel. Turn 9, that is turn 9 there. Coming down into the Nivelle chicane at turns 10 and 11. Of course, do count this as only 2 corners, because it is turns 10 and 11. Montana then through turn 12 at the back. Very tricky corner to get rid of, but he's 3 tenths up. But I'll tell you what, this is going to be a notable improvement here from the Swiss man. If he can keep it clean, coming into Ascas and into Anthony Lodges, the only 2 corners left. Turns 18 and 19, Montana looking very quick here. 108.1 I think is going to be his lap here. Montana across the line, 108.2, just shy of that, with nearly a 3/10 improvement there. So the current championship leader out on top, he is happy with that. I'm understandably happy with that. And I'm sure you as the viewers want to see laps like that being put in. Montana, absolutely brilliant. Cookie Games on his first lap then in the League of Europe has done a 111.1. He's opting for a medium compound of tyres. Of course, if you do start in that bottom 4, turns 10, 11, who was that getting sideways? I think that was Game Boys getting sideways in turn 1. And there's a Red Bull into the wall there. Not sure who that is. Let's have a check. It was Cookie Games into the wall, and that was at Mirabel at turn 5. That was at Mirabel Horse. Mirabel Mass is the corner he's coming through now. Of course, there are 2 Mirables, don't get confused by that. Take that off my track map to the right hand side of me at the minute. ILRT Sterling though is on a lap. And a 108.7 in fact from Wouters. He's just improved noticeably there in the racing point. Just noticed that. ILRT Sterling though with a 109.8 currently. Looking to improve. How's he looking through the middle sector? Let's see. Through to back. Only 400ths up. Looking a little bit shaky on this lap I think, ILRT Sterling. Cuts it nicely. Coming through then into Vasquez. Turn 17 very, very wide, and he backs off the lap and comes back into the pit. Understandably so, I think. That didn't look the cleanest lap there from what I was riding on board with. In the meantime, we'll try and pick on somebody that is still on a lap. Maladictus. Can he finally get to the line without setting an invalidated lap? Let's see. Oh, very sideways. No, he's back into the pits. Maladictus back into the pits. That must be the commentator's curse here tonight for Maladictus. But Montana out on top. Messina second, Wouters in third. There are the interval times at the minute. The top 12 separated by roughly 1.8 seconds. Messina is on a lap, I do believe, here. Coming through into Tobacco turn 12. Looking nice. 2/10 up. This is looking good from Messina. Filling in for June, of course. Looking very nice, very attacking through the Piscine chicane. The improved section loses the back end. Not sure if he got caught on the inside there. It didn't look like it. And understandably, I don't think the penalty should be given for that. Messina is back into the pits. He's been reset, in fact, coming back into the pits. Killer Blue then is the only one that is out on a lap. 10th up through the first sector from Killer Blue. 1.7 seconds down on Montana at the minute. Hoping to improve on this lap. Fastest lap, of course, 108.234 from Montana. But the McLaren driver now, Killer Blue, coming into the tunnel section at turn 9. Through there, you can take that corner. That is the only corner I'm pretty sure you can take flat out, apart from Beau Rivage on this track. Killer Blue then coming through to back, turn 12, lifts off, juices by about 40 mile an hour through there. 4.5 tenths, well, nearly 5 tenths up through the middle sector, in fact. Killer Blue looking good. Just rubs against the wall. That was actually going to gain him time rather than lose it. Killer Blue looking good here through the final corner at Anthony Lodges. Turns 18 and 19. Looking good. Killer Blue across the line. Goes 5th, and I apologise that I didn't have the time up for that lap. So 109.3 there from Killer Blue. So nice lap there by the McLaren driver. A lot of action now coming out of the pits for everyone that is going to set their final laps here out on track. Killer Blue, of course, set that 109.3 with a very nice lap. Let's try and pick up on somebody that's coming towards the end of their outlap. And here we go, it's Cookie Games. 111.1, the Slovenian. on his League of Europe debut here in Monaco. Bit of a baptism of fire, I think, if you are making your debut here in Monaco. Nice turn 1 though, on the run through up towards Boulevard, then into Massenet. This will be turn 3, he's coming towards now. Going through there, taking just slightly wide of the apex, prioritises his run down the hill now into the hairpin, into Mirabeau of course at turn 5, then into the Grand Hotel hairpin at turn 6. He was up in the first sector as well, so improvements galore here for Kuka Games. We should have a few more drivers coming out onto a proper lap very shortly. YHYY is the next one we'll go on board with. Kuka Games though, coming through the tunnel section, very, very close to that wall, my god. Very close to that wall, inches apart from colliding, and again inches apart there from Kuka Games. This is looking good. He's just over attacking it, maybe a little bit too much, but Kuka Games looking nice. 7/10 up in the middle sector. He's really going for this. Really going for this. That might have been an invalidation though. I think he might know that. There's a there's a Renault on the outside of him through Raskas. That is either Messina or Cantera. It's Messina just in behind him. Kuka Games going to be improving though. If that wasn't invalidated, and it's not, to 109.796. I think he'll retire from the session now. That's all he can do on that lap. YHYY then coming through the Nivelle chicane, turns 9 and 10. There at turns 10 and 11, then through to back at turn 12. Looking good, 2/10 up through the middle sector, 110 flat currently for him. And we'll go on board if we can. Not sure what has happened here. There we go, a 110 flat though for YHYY. Well, up there in the standings, of course, better come across the line. He's going to go quicker than Kuka Games, just about, by about 1800th there. Rick in behind has just improved. So two Toro Rossos working together, possibly, with a little bit of dirty air, goes quickest. How are the leaders looking? Montana, 5,000 down. We'll watch on board then, coming through into Raskas, which is turn 17 out on track, to 19 turns of course out on track if you are just tuning in. Montana through the final corner, 5,000 down in the middle sector. Is he going to improve? He does. It's a 108.1, found it all in that final sector. Very nice lap from Montana. Nobody I think getting close. Messina spins coming in towards the pit lane there. Wouters on a lap, of course fresh from his F1 Esports exploits. Wouters, must be confused with Wouters in Division 3. Better come across the line now and just jumps ahead of Messina. Very late on in this day, he gets second. So it's Montana, Wouters and Messina filling out your top 3 with X-Jarry noticeably improving up to 4th. Nice lap from him. Bullet Boy in 5th, Cantera in 6th, Killer Blue in 7th, Waluigi 8th, Sterling in 9th, Rick in 10th, YHYY in 11th. Kuka Games the only one to retire at the session at the end. Game Boys and Maledictus, both Hasses down at the bottom in 13th and 14th. As the end of qualifying, as we approach towards the start of this 50% race. 39 laps, I do believe, round Montana that was going to be out on top with a 4/10 gap in qualifying to Wouters in 2nd. Messina in 3rd, X-Jarry in 4th, filling out the 2nd row of the grid, and it's Bullet Boy and Cantera filling out the 3rd row of the grid in 5th and 6th. Killer Blue and New Waluigi in 7th and 8th. On the 4th row of the grid, Sterling and Rick filling out the top 10. On the 5th row of the grid there, only separated by 1,000th of a second as well. YHYY in 11th, Kuka Games in 12th, Game Boys in 13th, and Maledictus, the only one not to set a time. Maybe those invalidations and maybe me riding on board with him was just a little bit too costly for him. But we now approach the start of the formation lap, which is the next thing that you're going to be seeing on your screen. This is the time, of course, to make your race predictions. Your race predictions should go into the comments section within the next 2 minutes or so. I will read them out, of course. I'm just going to check through the comments section. I will also give a little bit of an update out on Division 3. Looking at everyone's comments so far, V5HRL, Rick for the win, the flying Finn of League of Europe. Not too bad of a bet there. Good qualifying from him. Hello guys and good luck to all, says Old School. Of course that is LOE Mark, as he used to be known. We have lost a subscriber from the channel. I pity the fool, whoever that is. And Bullet Boy coming in. Damn, lost a bit at a few different corners. Looking good though, hopefully. And I think Bullet Boy, that qualifying section probably putting him right up there within contention of a possible podium. It may go the way of Montana and Wouters out in front, but that 3rd place is going to be essentially a best of the rest battle here. It's going to be very interesting to see what is going to be happening out on track. But we are about to start here in League of Europe. The formation lap has now begun. 39 laps for the drivers to take a hold of out on track. Everyone should be giving themselves a lot of respect out on track here tonight. They've got to respect the track limits especially. This Monaco track is pretty much a penalty haven, especially if you cut some of the chicanes around here. You can pick up a lot of penalties, and I've even seen a driver get disqualified around here before. No word of a lie. That was in a different league, not in League of Europe. Thank goodness for that. My first time in commentating actually on League of Europe around here in Monaco. Into my 8th commentary actually in League of Europe. 9 if you exclude pre-season, if you include pre-season there. But reminder, coming into tonight, the top 3 in the championship are as follows. Montana out on top, getting first and the fastest lap last time out in Italy 2 weeks ago. He's out on 152 points. Rafa not attending tonight on 108. Harrison David in third on 76 points. He is retired from this league, sadly. With Rafa not attending, this is really territory for Montana to improve his championship lead noticeably. I think Wouters is going to give him something to think about here tonight, and possibly ILRT Sterling might give him something to think about here tonight as well. Really good drive. If he can try and pull that one-stop strategy off again like in Spain, I think he will. And just come on to the bottom 4 drivers out on the grid. YHYY, Game Boys and Maledictus all starting on the medium compound of tyres. We're going to be waiting just a little bit of time now as they come through Raskas. Kooky Games, the only one to start on a hard set of compound of tyres. Of course, softs, quicker the first half of this race, but they're going to wear off quite quickly. Mediums more durable than the softs. They should go probably on a one-stop. Hards will also go on a one-stop for Schubert as well, as we are about to get set here for 5 red lights here in Monaco for round 8 of the League of Europe Division 1 Championship. It is lights out and away we go. Very good start by Montana on the inside. Wouters will try and cut him off around the outside. Messina's got a good start in behind as well. The challenging Wouters down into turn 1 at Sander Vos. Messina gets up the inside into Sander Vos. Lets Montana go ahead and side by side now. Coming through Boulevard and up towards Massenet. Still 2 by 2 in behind as well. Like Noah's Ark they go. Wouters, he's going to have to give it up somehow. Messina nearly driving him into the wall, but Messina on the inside here. Side by side action all ready to begin off with, and it's still side by side between these two. Now they have to show respect. It's going to be single file now into the Grand Hotel hairpin. What a start that was. Brilliant, brilliant racing between Messina to get through into second place. There is a yellow flag in sector 2. I think it's just for everyone purely going slow through the Grand Hotel hairpin, but Montana has got that break. It's 1.4 seconds as he comes through the Novelle chicane for the first time. Messina in second. Wouters very late on the brakes, nearly going into the back of him now at Novelle chicane. Now through to back at turn 12. Wouters has to have something to think about. Hopefully no front wing damage on lap 1. There was a lot of concertina in effect going on at the Grand Hotel hairpin. Relatively very clean start though, and Montana is the one that's going to be out on top coming towards the end of lap 1, and Wouters is in for pits. So Wouters is into the pits. That I think must be for front wing change. It is for front wing change, and he's left the session. Wouters has left the session. I'm not sure if that's a bit of a disconnect going on there. Kooky Games is into the pit as well. He's lost his left side end plate. But Montana then out on top. That is a shame that Wouters has left the session. Hopefully we can catch up on whatever happened. But Montana then leads the way. Further down the field we'll focus on ILRT Sterling all over the back of the Spaniard Cantero, who was up to 6th place early on. Very good start from him. As we see the position changes early on when I decide to get it up wherever it is. Got there in the end. 2 positions gained respectively. Ball, Bullet Boy, Killer Blue, Sterling, Rick, Game Boys and Maledictus all gaining 2 positions early on. 1 position's gained for Messina and for YHYY. 11 positions lost for Wouters as a result of that disconnect and him coming into the pits. And Kooky Games has lost 2 while Ouija has lost 1 as well. But very, very good driving and very clean in Monaco as ILRT Sterling just makes a mistake going through to back and very close to the wall there. Luckily, no front wing damage as of yet. Rick and Waluigi on the back of him. 3-way battle, pretty much a 4-way, 5-way train then. For 6th place, Cantera just pulling away slightly from ILRT Sterling. Onto lap 3 they go. Montana leads by 1.6 seconds coming across the line. Messina in second as Waluigi not going to think about going around the outside into Sander Vos. My God, if he tried that, that would have been brave stuff. Is he going to go around the outside of Massenet? I have seen a move pulled off here before. He's not going to think about it. If we get a move around the outside of Massenet, I'm going to go apeshit crazy here tonight in Monaco, even with a sore throat. 5-car train though holding up. Ex-Jerry getting close to Bullet Boy just in the foreground of shot as we come through the Grand Hotel hairpin into Portier now. Ex-Jerry looking close. The Soul Mercedes, of course, will be looking for a very good result here tonight. Looks like Bullet Boy, I'm not sure if he's got a little bit of damage there on the left side end plate. Just looks like he's struggling slightly as they come through the Nivelle chicane. Killer Blue, I've got to say, taking a much neater line through there than just cutting the corner compared to the two guys ahead, Bullet Boy and Ex-Jerry, which you are on board with. We'll battle for fourth, heating up. You've got to be within 0.2 of a second coming through Anthony Noche's to get a move done round here, because it's literally impossible. We could see this now from LRT Sterling, who's about 0.4 of a second away from Cantera. A little bit of a mistake in behind from Rick, getting very close to the inside apex of the wall there. 2.2 seconds the lead out in front. Montana leads, Massina second, Bullet Boy in third, Ex-Jerry fourth. Proud to say everyone's still continuing on. Killer Blue in fifth with Cantera in sixth. And now LRT Sterling trying to go up the inside of Cantera. This is at Massenet, now through Casino Square. What a move that is by LRT Sterling. That is one of the best moves I've probably seen on this game so far. Wow, the commitment there was absolutely phenomenal. LRT Sterling, give yourself a pat on the back even if you are driving. That was utterly brilliant. Cantera had no chance with that, and he has lost his left side end plate as well, Cantera. He has picked up front wing damage. Left side end plate has gone off that Renault. That's probably why that move looked a little bit easier than normal. LRT Sterling, though, full credit to him, gets the move done, and I'm sure there'll be a flood of comments coming in now about that move. That was brilliant commitment. Cantera now just losing the time as a result of that damage. Rick now over the back of him, while Ouija and YHYY also looking close. Cantera looks like he is struggling. He might come into the pits here. We'll just see if he does. Cantera is going to come into the pits. Releases Rick just in behind. We're getting very close though for the battle for third. The into Sandoval, Bullet Boy and Ex-Jerry up 2 positions respectively for Bullet Boy into third and fourth. Sorry, getting close up the run through Beau Rivage, just taking a neater, wider right line, trying to prioritise the run now, coming down into Mirabeau at turn 5, trying to look down the inside, just warning him, he's there, and he is right there behind him, Ex-Jerry. Montana leads, ooh, Ex-Jerry getting very close to the rear end there of Bullet Boy, just getting up on the curb slightly at the Grand Hotel hairpin, but it's Montana out on top. Messina second, Bullet Boy in third, pretty much as you were for the last couple of laps. However, Ex-Jerry looking very close here on Bullet Boy, down into the inside of the Nivelle chicane. Respect has got to be given here, and that is a great move if he can pull it off. Bullet Boy has to cut the chicane in result, but he lets him back through, and now Killer Blue is on the inside into the back, just pulls off. Bullet Boy though, good respect shown there. Ex-Jerry is now into third place as a result, but not over with yet, because Ex-Jerry now under pressure once again from Bullet Boy. Killer Blue just struggling to keep up, and LRT Sterling on the back of this as well. This is going to be a cracker of a race as Killer Blue decides to come into the pits. Think he might have right side end plate damage coming into the pits. We'll watch this pit stop. In fact, we'll watch Bullet Boy on the back of Ex-Jerry. We'll now cut back on board with Bullet Boy. With Killer Blue, sorry. That is not, and I repeat, not front wing change from Killer Blue, purely for new set of tyres. Medium compound of tyres there for Killer Blue. Wouters' AI is still going around just in behind. Cookie Games right on the back of Cantera. They're down fighting at 13th and 14th at this stage. A little bit quiet now out on track. Montana leads the way, 2.5 seconds. Got the break early on, and pretty much it's as you were round here at Monaco. The driver that normally gets pole position normally wins round here as long as they don't crash out. That's how I tend to find league races round here. Messina in second, Ex-Jerry though in third, now putting away from Bullet Boy, who is under pressure now from LRT Sterling. No front wing damage that I can notice as Rick just cuts the inside of the chicane now at the Nivelle chicane through turns 10 and 11. But Sterling getting close then to the back of Bullet Boy. Just going to have a look at the comment section, see what you guys have been making for the first 7, now 8 laps in this race, as Montana just about to come across the line to start lap 8, and that is Bullet Boy into the pits. So Bullet Boy comes into the pits. We're in fact on lap 7 out of 39, my bad. YHYY looking close to Waluigi. Has Waluigi got damage there? Right side end plate. He doesn't. But YHYY over the back of him, so they're fitting on the back of the Belgian here, running up through Beau Rivage and Massenet, who turns 2 and 3. Hopefully everyone enjoying the stream so far. I will try and give an update on Division 3 as well during this race. In fact, I will give that an update now. Old School saying Xjarry is a Monaco special. That was absolutely on the line, absolutely perfect. I only turned off for a bit. Go on, Xjarry. V5H12. Don't tune out. It's Monaco. Don't tune out at all. Rick all over the back of ILRT Sterling. This is for P4. Bullet Boy has just came into the pits. Has been jumped actually by Killer Blue. Has pulled off the undercut there early on. So Killer Blue now into 9th place. Bullet Boy into 10th. Then let's have a look at who's still to pit. The top 8 still to pit. And the soft compound of tyres don't last long round here in Monaco. YHYY getting close to the back of Waluigi, just coming through the swimming pool section, now into the chicane at the swimming pool section, through 15 and 16, then into turn 17 at Raskas, and that is Waluigi up and come into the pit. So not many drivers left out there on the soft compound of tyres. It's only the top 5 that's out there on the soft compound of tyres. Everyone else differing between mediums and hards. Hard compound of tyres for Cantera, Maledictus as well on the hards. He's been into the pits as well, has came out just in behind Kooky Games, while Ouija in the meantime is just out behind Bullet Boy, and he is in clear air. Relatively clear air there for the Belgian. We don't want to see anybody trying to cut the inside there. Bullet Boy picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's on the back. It's gone a little bit quiet though. Watch on board with 4th and 5th as Kooky Games is out the race through Sector 3. Is that where I think it is? Coming through into Sector 3 now. I think this might be on the outside. Coming through here, but it's not. Where has he lost this, I wonder? We'll have a look. Kooky Games leaves the session. No yellow flags out through Sector 3. And he's lost it, in fact, on the straight, has he? Oh, has he retired coming into the pits, in fact? I think he might have retired coming into the pits, in fact, Kooky Games. Don't really blame him, to be honest, but every point counts here in League of Europe. Every point counts. That's what drivers have got to be aware of, especially around here in Monaco. Even if you're running in 14th place, some drivers in front of you might go out the race, then you're in chance of a point, score and finish. That's what you've all got to think about here tonight, and that's what every driver's got to think about in Monaco tonight. Division 3 though at the moment, leading is a Drillel from Wagner in second, Nico in third. Interesting battle going on for 4th and 5th between Big W and Heated LH as the current battle. Enough about that. Three-way battle coming through the Grand Hotel hairpin, possibly a 4-way battle as now Game Boys is on the back of YHYY, and in turn he is on the back of Rick, and Rick is on the turn on the back of ILRT Sterling. Montana and Messina working together, I would imagine, out in front. 2.2 seconds, both of them representing NSX, of course, and NSX being noted as one of the future esports teams here to hit. I think they've hit the ground running. They've only been going a couple of months, and it's quite extraordinary to see some of the drivers that they have got. I do watch another league that's got plenty of drivers. In the meantime, ILRT Sterling comes into the pit, releases Rick, who will come under pressure from his teammate. No front wing damage or end plate damage to report as of yet, which is actually good to see. Game Boys through San Devot at turn 1, getting very close there to the inside, on the outside there, coming through San Devot into turn 1. It is getting a little bit dark here where I am currently. It is getting pretty dark here now, in fact. I might have to put my light on to give a little bit more light in my room at the minute. But Montana leads 2 seconds, Messina second, Xjarry in third position. Very close to the back end there. YHYY on the back of Rick, coming through the Grand Hotel hairpin there, now through Portier. And Rick coming through, YHYY just in behind. Of course, Monaco, legendary track here in Formula 1, and probably one of the most famous tracks out on the calendar. It is going to be round 7 next year of the championship in real life Formula 1, because of course two new introductions to the F1 calendar next season: Hanoi, or the Vietnamese Grand Prix, and also we've got Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix, back, as we've got plenty of pit stops happening now. Xjarry into the pits, replacing, just going to be held up. That's a bit of an unsafe release there from the Mercedes guys. Just jumps in behind Rick, who is just going to hold him up, I think, here just slightly. Rick is into the pits though. Medium compound of tyres goes on. I would imagine they'll get a 2-stop going out of these mediums. Montana out in front, Messina in second. The leaders, though, coming through 48 once again. Lap 11 out of 39. Slowly reaching the halfway stage here in League of Europe Division 1. And it is Montana out on top. Messina second and YHYY in third. In the meantime, X-Jarry has just came out behind ILRT Sterling. This is for 8th and 9th out on track. Of course, it won't be for this position when the 4 guys who haven't pitted yet, that's Montana, Messina, YHYY and Game Boys, all come into the pits. That will be, of course, for I think that'll be a net battle to 6th if I'm not mistaken, possibly with Montana and Messina possibly just ahead of these guys. So I'm going to imagine it's Sterling either for net P5 or net P6 this battle is for. X-Jarry close though, 7/10 of a second in behind on slightly fresher rubber than ILRT Sterling. Of course produced that one-stop wonder class strategy in Spain just 2 rounds ago with an utterly brilliant second place, and he fully deserved credit for that. Are we going to see something similar here, I wonder, from him? Maybe not. I think this favours more of a 2-stop track than a 1-stop track. I've even seen drivers make 3 stops work round here and they're quicker than the 2 stops. But I think on this game it's 2 stops that's quicker than a 1-stop round here. Pretty sure. Montana though still leading, 2.7 seconds. These guys still yet to come into the pit, remember. Messina in second, YHYY third, Game Boys in fourth. You're currently on board though. We come into the Grand Hotel hairpin on board with ILRT Sterling and X-Jarry. Of course, not the first night race that you're going to be seeing this weekend, because of course we've got the Singapore Grand Prix tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon our time. I do believe it is a 2 o'clock kickoff for the race. I'm pretty sure. Somebody can correct me on that. I might be around the... and in fact, sorry to butt in, but Messina into the pits on a set of medium compound of tyres. Montana out the pits as well. Messina not gaining. That leaves then YHYY out in front, and Game Boys is going to be now in second place. There is Montana just in behind in camera shot coming through into P3. Messina in P4. There's Killer Blue, he's got out ahead. So Messina out ahead of Killer Blue, who's now running in that net P3. Very strong showing from him so far. Reserve driver, get him signed up into a full-time seat. Honestly, 2 positions gained from Killer Blue from 7th up to 5th. By the time YHYY and Game Boys come into the pit, of course, that will be a net P3, so he'll be up 4 positions instead of the standard 2 that he's currently at. Unfortunately, Wouters not continuing on in this race. I'm just going to check Discord, see if we've got any relation to why he has pulled out of that race. Well, Ouija, by the way, coming in very interestingly beforehand and saying 8.1, Jesus Christ on a bike, Killer Blue that was. And while Ouija saying, good luck everyone, don't go crazy on lap 1. Well, lap 1, I think, probably one of the best laps that we've seen out of this race so far. Really intriguing race though going on here. It's going to turn more into a tactical game than anything else. Messina, by the way, has gained a little bit of time coming out of the pit stops. Montana only 1.6 seconds ahead. Messina looks quicker, slightly quicker this time around. Has he got more ERS? No, Montana's got more ERS in fact, and that is Game Boys just in front of Montana. We come through into Massenet. You don't want to be trying to make an overtake into Massenet. We have seen one pulled off here from ILRT Sterling early on in the race. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it, because it is seriously such a good race. In the meantime though, Game Boys getting now attacked by Montana. 0.5 of a second separating as we approach nearly the halfway stage here in Monaco. We've got about 3 or 4 more laps until we get to that stage, but Montana now getting held up possibly by Game Boys. He's got to try and make this stick because he's got Messina all over the back of him. Now down the inside on the Val chicane, is Game Boys just going to let him through here. Walters through down the inside on the Val chicane. Very nice overtake there by Montana. Gets the move done. Game Boys didn't make it easy for him, but now the NSX boys should fill out the first 2 positions once again with Messina, as X-Jarry just picked up a 3-second time penalty there. That was further behind that on track. Messina all over the back of Game Boys coming into Raskas. Going to try and prioritise his run coming through onto the start-finish straight. He is close enough for a move, but Game Boys has got DRS as well. Look at the straight line speed of Messina. Going around the outside into Sandervoort. Surely not around the outside. What a move that is. What a move that is by Messina. Round the outside of Sandervoort. Game Boys gave him the space. Full credit to Game Boys for giving them the space, but Messina has pulled off a worldie of a move round the outside of Santa for a turn 1. My God, have we seen some good overtakes here tonight. Brilliant move, he's up to P3. And I don't care that they're on differing strategies at all. An overtake is an overtake, and it's very rare you're seeing one like that. YHYY though. Now, getting attacked by Montana. Coming through into to back, well, through the Nivelle chicane and then into to back. YHYY still leading the way, Montana second, Messina now in third as a result of that overtake at Sandavot. Game Boys in fourth, Killer Blue in fifth, Bullet Boy in sixth with Waluigi, Sterling, X-Jarry. Quite an interesting train forming up there between sixth and ninth. Rick in 10th, Cantera in 11th. Wouter's still going around an AI, hopefully we can get him back before the end, he can pick up the points if he does want to get points. Maledictus in 13th. Kuka Games, the only one out the race so far, is now Montana is hunting down on YHYY, trying to go all the way around the outside. YHYY not giving it up easily. He's going to fight for this. And a lot of desync happening now in front actually from YHYY. It doesn't look like there's any desync from Montana's end. We'll catch on board with this from Messina. Yeah, YHYY definitely desyncing, so might just have to watch out for that. Montana not going to attempt for a move, but looking behind because here comes Messina. Getting held up, this is going to be costly. He's going to try and back Montana up into Messina here as YHYY. And this is proving very intriguing indeed. What is going to happen down into the Nivelle chicane? Messina will take it on board from his POV. Montana getting close to YHYY. Are we going to see him lunge it down the inside of the Nivelle chicane? Yes, we will. Much later on the brakes. He has to give way there, YHYY. Job done for Montana. And he lets through Messina as well. So there's now battle for the lead. Heats up once again. Montana into P1, Messina into P2. Very good sportsmanship shown there though by YHYY. That's what we like to see here in League of Europe Division 1. And I've just spilled a bit of drink on my controller. Fantastic. Montana though out on top. Game Boys into the pits as a result of being overtaken early on by Messina. 7/10 per second separating the lead. We'll keep on board with this pit stop though from Bullet Boy in the meantime. Intriguing battle starting to develop for P6 and P7 out on track, while Luigi is ahead of ILRT Sterling. I'm not sure if he pulled off that move, if they've stayed as they are. Sterling though all of the back now of Waluigi, the Belgian, coming under attack. And once again we're seeing a bit of a theme going on here with the mid-pack battles. Bullet Boy now leading Waluigi, ILRT Sterling, next Jarry, and then Rick getting onto the back of this as well. 5-car train you could count it as here, coming through Portier. I don't do trains, I don't think, in Monaco. Certainly not round here at the street circuit. Bullet Boy 6/10 ahead of Waluigi though in the meantime. Looking very close for the battle for the lead though. Montana and Messina looking very close. We'll ride on board with this. The Finn against the Swiss, and I think team orders, quite literally, for the NSX boys will be out the window here. They're going to fight this tooth and nail for the win. For the win? For the win. Messina, new fastest lap, 1:11.9. On a set of medium compound of tyres. Very strong showing so far from Messina, as he is right on the back coming through Massenet. Looks quicker here, Messina through Massenet. Bit of a mouthful to say. Now into Mirabeau. Not going to lunge it. Going to try and look for the apex down on the inside there at Mirabeau at turn 5. Looking good though, Montana. Still holding off the attentions. So come through the Grand Hotel hairpin, now into Portier, through Mirabeau Bass, and now through Portier at turn 8. Then up the tunnel section at turn 9. We of course have seen so far in this race that Messina has got a very good straight line speed setup underneath him. We are pretty much nearly halfway. As Bullet Boy, what has happened to him? Bullet Boy has lost it coming out of Portier, I think, and has picked up damage. He hasn't picked up damage, unless he's just let everyone through. I'm not sure what happened there. Hopefully we can get an explanation. I have a feeling he might have just lost that by himself. Montana and Messina, battle for the lead though, 4/10 of a second. No battles for the lead going on Division 3. Come over and watch a battle for the lead. That's what I say. Pretty much halfway through then in Monaco. And it's Montana who leads the way, Messina in second. But as a result of the hold-ups that we've seen from YHYY and from Game Boys earlier on in the race, Canteras came into the pits and has retired from the race coming into the pits. Not sure what happened there. Maledictus, however, all over the back of an AI car. We'll not watch that. Watch on board with the battle for the lead. Montana and Messina. Two NSX boys doing battle here around the streets of Monaco. This is looking closer. Messina not going to go for a move, I don't think, here. Down into the Nivelle chicane. Wait for the DRS. Montana just locks up slightly. Bit of a lock-up going on there from Messina as well. And just a little bit of gain on the time. Shame that Cantera has retired from the session. Retired that coming into the pits. So, not sure what the LOE steward will make of that. Montana, though, Messina, still battling out for the lead. And this is going to be really intriguing. If we get this to the end of the race, we are going to be in for one hell of a race here in Monaco. And what a return this is going to be from a 2-week break. YHYY finally relinquishes that third place. Killer Blue now into P3, Waluigi P4, Sterling P5. So that Waluigi Sterling battle, like I said earlier on, net battle for P4. That is now between those guys. Next area on the back of that, you hear the rubbing of the tyre just against the wall there from Messina. That was on the left side of the car. I think that was the left rear making contact with the wall. Sadly, no loss of end play or anything like that, which is good to see as we are now through the halfway stage in Monaco. It's Montana leading the way, Messina in second. Both of them showing each other a lot of respect here. But who is going to blink first? Is it going to be Montana out in front? He will be sweating every single lap he goes through this race. He's going to be sweating even more. Messina will be wanting to get past him even more. This is how it's going to work out between these two. Messina just contacts the wall on the inside, going through the swimming pool section. Losing just a little bit of time. It's only a tenth of a second he's lost, not too much. He's still within that DRS range. But Montana, just with a little bit more freedom, still leads the way. 57% of ERS. Messina really pushing the car. 22% of ERS through turn 1. Game Boys has picked up a penalty with a 3-second time penalty there for multiple warnings. That, I think, was through the chicane, the Nivelle chicane, just before to back at turn 12. And Montana leading the way. Messina trying to get back onto the coattails now of Montana. This is really developing up into a tactical race between these two. These two, I think, have got to try and egg each other on, possibly to try and get the win for both of them. Otherwise, we're going to be seeing this. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2 and through to back. It's Maledictus who has lost the car. Through to back at turn 12. Luckily, that was an AI car coming through. That was Wouters. He's retired the car out on track. Third retirement of the race. Shame for Maledictus. His no-point score continues in League of Europe. Hopefully, we will get at least a point out of him before round 10, which will be halfway point in the season. Montana leading the way, Messina in second, Killer Blue in third. As a result of that undercut, he will have to pit again. Waluigi in fourth, yellow flag in sector 2 is for Bullet Boy, who was cut across the Nivelle chicane. I think he might have caught the inside of the curb there. The inside of the wall, I should say. Through Sanderbot once again, though, with the leaders. Three-car trend really developing. Sterling has lost a lot of time out of the final corner there. To Anthony Nodges, and now X-Jarry right on the back. Looking good here, X-Jarry. Reminder, position changes. 4 positions gained respectively for Killer Blue, Waluigi and Sterling, pardon me. 3 positions gained for Rick and Game Boys. 2 positions gained for YHYY and Messina, and 1 position gain as well. Only position losses out on track. X-Jarry has lost 2, Bullet Boy's lost 3, and Wouters, his AI car, has lost 9. As a result of that disconnect earlier on in the race. It's looking good. Look at Messina. How much speed did he take through there? Right on the back of Montana through the Nivelle chicane. This is just going to pressurise Montana even more and more. I've seen him in these situations before, and trust me, he will not be breaking sweat. He is not going to be breaking sweat here tonight. The Swiss man, current championship leader. Killer Blue has lost a lot of time. Has he picked up left side end plate damage? I think he might have. He hasn't. He's made a mistake somewhere out on track as now Waluigi all over the back of him. 5-car train spanning pretty much the width through Raskas. But Montana, Killer Blue into the pits. He must have picked up damage unless he's going in for a fresh set of tyres. Montana and Messina still battling out for the lead of the race. Messina is surely not going to think, getting the run. Going around the outside into Mirrorball. Down on the inside now into Mirrorball. He can't get past. track is not wide enough to get an overtake through there, but good attempts there by Messina to try and get Montana around the outside into Mirabel, and if he pulled that off, my god, that would have been probably one of the best overtakes I've ever seen around here at Monaco. But Montana leads the way still. Messina second. This battle for the lead hotting up. That is an AI car just ahead, so they don't need to worry about that. Luigi in third, hanging off the attentions of Sterling, Lex, Jarry and Rick. A 4-car train spanning for that final podium spot. As I said just before the race, formation lap. That will be, that P3 essentially would be best of the rest. I didn't really expect Messina to be up there here tonight, but he is giving Montana something to think about. The Finn right on the back of the Swissman, and the Swissman just got a better run out of the final two, calling out Anthony Nodges. Montana the leading the way, and Messina in second. There's not really much happening behind out on track. Everyone might be spread out 5-6 tenths per second, but trust me, that is not even remotely close enough for an overtake round here. You've got to be within, I think, 2 tenths of a second to try and even think about going for an overtake. I think that's what we're going to be seeing, hopefully, with Messina right on the back of Montana. In terms of ERS, Montana, as I said, not really breaking sweat. 64% ERS compared to Messina on 32, so double the amount of ERS for Montana to use. He's in Messina in ERS mode 5, which is overtake mode here in Formula 1. Montana currently using absolutely diddly squat, with 0 being used there for Montana. In the meantime, we'll see what Killer Blue went on. He's on a set of medium compound of tyres. Maledictus has left the session. Killer Blue, though, was right on the back of YHYY, and YHYY is under pressure now from Killer Blue. Much better exit there from Killer Blue. I think he's going to size up an overtake into the Naval chicane here. We are going to see him on the inside. He's got to give him respect, and he's through. Killer Blue, nice overtake. Little bit of an early break there from YHYY. Good sportsmanship shown there. Killer Blue up to P8. We'll be hoping for more overtakes to come. Messina's right in the back of Montana, coming into Mirabel, and again he tries to go around the outside. Again, good commitment, trying to find a way through. A little bit of contact on the rear end there. He mounted the curve on the inside of the Grand Hotel hairpin. Montana, though, 5 tenths of a second leading. It's now down to 3 tenths of a second. Nearly 4 tenths of a second. Just widening out slightly. Luigi hanging on nicely to third, with Sterling in fourth, Xjarry in fifth, Rick filling out the top 6. They're the ones that count, I think, here tonight. Bullet Boy, Killer Blue, YHYY and Game Boys filling out that top 10, but Montana under constant amounts of pressure. If I was in this position right now, if I was the leader here tonight, and I was in Montana's shoes, I would be absolutely shitting myself at this point in time. Now, pardon the French, Killer Blue is out the race. Killer Blue is out the race after Portier. Killer Blue has lost the car at Portier. We saw YHYY go past him on the screen. I didn't catch that, so I really can't comment on that. Hopefully we see POV footage of that come through, either on YouTube or in the Discord. Montana, though, hanging off the attentions of Messina. Again, these two pulling away. Luigi in third. Might have to pit again for a set of softs. Sterling in fourth, Xjarry in fifth, Rick in sixth, Bullet Boy in seventh, YHYY 8th, Game Boys in ninth, and I can't believe it, Wouters is AI. I don't think because he's a human car he will be awarded the points. I don't think. They might give it a bit of a lean over with it being Monaco. I would give the points here in Monaco for sure. But Montana leading the way. Messina second, New Luigi in third. With Sterling in fourth, Xjarry in fifth. Rick has lost time now to Xjarry, just losing a little bit of time there. 1.2 seconds now separating that battle for fifth. Have a look at everyone in the comment section and see what you guys are saying. A lot of support coming in now from Bullet Boy. Bullet Boy down in seventh at this moment in time. He's just been making a few sloppy errors, I would say, to be honest, in this race. He is doing well though. He's in P7. He will be scoring points. So on a set of hards, he might get those to the end, hopefully. If not, it'll be a set of softs he'll pit in for. That is the red wall compound of tyre. Of course, mediums are the yellow wall compound of tyre. This is pretty much the cars that you'll be seeing, the tyres that you'll be seeing go to the end of this race. With Montana, again, just getting pressurised by Messina. Luigi in third, Sterling in fourth, 13 laps to go, 12.5 if you're being picky. Montana who leads the way, Messina about 2 dozen times now in this race. But Montana leads the way, Messina second, Luigi third. Still that battle for third has got close. That gets within 2 tenths. Then I'd go back on board with it. But Montana and Messina, 3/10 of a second. This is looking close. This is looking good. Montana holding him off. Holding him off. For now, the Swiss man. Right on the back, Messina just overcooking his braking point slightly there. Gives Montana just a little bit more breathing space. And if I've got to be honest, if Messina is watching this, and I highly doubt he will be, but if he is, you've got to save up your ERS, because 17% of ERS, even though there's a lot of braking points on this track, if he uses it up down through the tunnel section, and then down through into to back, and then down through the start-finish straight, it does wear away quite a lot. Sterling then, on the back of Waluigi, this is for P3, coming down towards Mirabeau at the end of the first sector, 19.5, ooh, slight outbreak there. Xjavi just got to be careful, nearly ran into the back of him, but just a slight outbreak there from Sterling. Trying to catch Waluigi, maybe just overcooking it slightly. But he's still on the back. And this four-way battle is still heating up. Waluigi, Sterling, Xjavi and Rick will ride on board then with Sterling down into the Nivelle chicane at turns 10 and 11. Waluigi getting very close to the wall. Ooh, just had a little bit of a moment. Maybe the tyre is just starting to ebb away the last little bit of life. And Xjavi is a second now down on Sterling, so this is going to give Sterling a little bit more confidence now through the corners. I'll try and get him more into a bit of a rhythm. Contrary to what Will's tyres are looking like, that is not a Red Bull set of soft compound tyres, that is a set of mediums on him. There's a clear tyre glitch on my part there. But Montana leads the way, Messina second one. Luigi just getting very close to the wall there in Nivelle, at Saint-Devote, sorry, at turn 1. Sterling up into Beau Rivage in P4, Xjavi in P5, Rick trying to hang on to the coattails. I don't think he's got enough pace to hang on to the coattails. Bullet Boy into the pits to pit for a set of mediums. He could have got a set of softs, I think, till the end there. Interesting strategy call from Bullet Boy. 10 laps, they could make it round here. 45% wear? Yeah, they could make it. They could make it. They'll be very worn at the end, but they could make it. Smooth tyre management could work. Montana and Messina once again go through Rascas, pretty much locked together as one. It's like he's towing along Messina, is Montana out in front. These guys have just dominated affairs here tonight in Division 1. 10 laps to go, and there's still a battle for the lead and a battle for the win going on out on track. No boring stuff here like in Division 3, which I rode on board with, and I think it was about an 8-second lead that Adrillo had from Big W, and Eloise Nico was in third the last time I looked. I think Division 3 might be over with, not Shiba. But Montana leading the way, Messina and second. In fact, I've checked that now. I'll give you an update on Division 3 to see what is happening, or what has happened in Division 3 tonight. Messina, though, on the back of Montana, coming through the Nivelle, through the tunnel section, now into the Nivelle chicane at turns 10 and 11. Division 3 currently has in fact ended, so Division 3 has ended, and if you want a spoiler, I'll spoil the result for you guys now. Messina right on the back though of Montana in the meantime. Right on the back of the it's almost as if he's towing him. It's like an AA truck towing a car off the motorway at this stage. Montana really hanging on for grim life, because Messina is coming, and he's coming fast and hard on Montana. Through Saint-Devote they go with 9 laps to go. That is Bullet Boy just coming out of the pits in behind. So Bullet Boy's being back into the pit. Set a soft compound of tyres. Ooh, Messina thought he was going to have a cheeky look around the outside of Massenet. Now down through Mirabeau into turn 5, which is Mirabeau, through Casino Square. Bullet Boy shouldn't really be getting involved in this at all. This is a battle for the lead he's getting involved with. We don't want to see an Ocon Verstappen sort of incident here in League of Europe. That'll just be all hell to pay. And just to pick up on Division 3, by the way, Adrillo won, Wouter second, Nico in third, with Big W in fourth, and Heated LH in fifth. That is your top 5 in Division 3. Messina picks up a 3-second time penalty. Bullet Boy followed the same line there as well. right on board with this in the background, I just want to pick up on the penalties. Montana hasn't even picked up a warning yet. Messina has picked up 2 penalties, while Luigi has picked up a penalty. With RRT Sterling picking up a penalty. XGary has picked up a penalty. Rick has picked up a penalty. YHYY's only picked up 2 warnings. Good stuff. Game Boys has picked up a penalty, sorry. Oh, we got back on board with him there. Bullet Boy with 3 penalties. And Wouters, well, enough we say about him because he's going around an AI. That's the penalties run down with 8 laps to go, 7.5 laps if you're being picky. Montana leads the way, Messina in second. Again, Bullet Boy getting onto the back of this. It will be an interesting look to see. He's got to let these leaders fight, but not overtake at the same time, because he doesn't want to ruin his own race, and he doesn't want to ruin anyone else's races either. Battle for third, while Luigi's now got ahead of Sterling by around a second out on track, with ILRT Sterling under pressure from XJarry. This is into Mirabel, now into the Grand Hotel hairpin in fact. A little bit of lag being picked up here. I do apologise, this is coming from my end I do believe. I'm just gonna move stuff around there. In fact, ooh, what on earth has happened there? Montana and Messina and Bullet Boy, not sure what has happened there. There was brief yellow flags in sector 3 that was looking very close, too close for my liking. Bullet Boy's got to try and find a way through, but he's got to find a way through when they're not battling, I don't think. He doesn't want to be getting involved in other people's races here at this stage. Of course, if you are a lap car, there's no obligation to try and get past. There is an obligation that you can get past. That's in the rules. But Ocon and Verstappen happened, and look what happened there. I personally don't want to see something like that again happen here tonight out on track. Especially in the top tier. Montana though leading, 7 laps to go. Messina in second. This gap has been utterly constant for pretty much since they pitted. It's always been around 3 or 4 tenths average. Montana and Messina, who is going to come out on top? By penalties, right, it will be Montana. Messina could put in an appeal. Those 6 seconds could get removed. And job's a good one for Messina. He could possibly still win this if he puts in an appeal. Bullet Boy has backed off now on this battle for the lead. Good sportsmanship. I think he might be listening to this stream, so good sportsmanship shown there. While Luigi in third, now back under pressure from Sterling. Are we going to be possibly getting into puncture territory, I wonder, for Waluigi? If we can keep those going to the end, then maybe, just maybe, we might see a puncture before the end for him, as ILRT Sterling is round at Raskas. ILRT Sterling round at Raskas. He's got caught on the inside of the apex there, or the inside of the wall there, at Raskas at turn 17, and that puts Pays possibly to his podium chances. That's unfortunate. He was having a very good race as well. That's unfortunate on him. Montana still leads the way. Messina in second. They are a sector ahead of Waluigi. Just put that in mind. Waluigi is only through the Grand Hotel hairpin. They're a full sector ahead pretty much. Once again, Montana, Messina. We're going to have 5 more laps to go after this lap. Messina getting very close to the back end of Montana there. Messina all over the back of Montana. Just loses it slightly. There's the yellow flag in sector 3. Bullet Boy is round at Raskas. That's unfortunate. Is he going to come into the pit? He does. Montana is hanging on from Messina, giving him something to think about here tonight. The Finn, the flying Finn of League of Europe, what I'm going to call him. Forget about XJarry. Or YHYY, forget about him. Messina is the flying Finn tonight of League of Europe. 4.5 laps to go, and we still don't know who is going to win this race. Oh my God almighty! What on earth happened there? Please tell me I was not the only one to see a jump by Messina on the back of Montana. I think there was a slight bit of desync going on there, and that might be just costly. Did he get caught up on the inside? Montana lagging. Could be putting paid to the chances. Montana lagging. Oh no. Montana is lagging, unless it's me that's lagging. Messina picks up a third 3-second time penalty. Wouters just ahead in AI mode, just about to be lapped. Montana is lagging though on my end. Hopefully we're not going down or anything like that. 4 laps to go. Montana still leads the way. Messina looking again close at Sander Vaught. AI just puts off Montana slightly. 4.5 tenths the gap. That gap has not changed for a little while, and Montana is holding off the attentions. We're having a bit of a desync moment going on here between the front two. The interval timing has not changed through sector 1, which is very strange indeed. I'm not sure what's going on. It'll probably fix itself at the end of this lap, I would imagine. Montana 4.5 tenths ahead. I think that's probably around 5, maybe 6 tenths now, that gap. Montana leading the way from Messina. They come through the Grand Hotel hairpin. I would say about half a second, that gap at this moment in time. Montana, Messina, the 2 M's find it out on track, very close to the wall there. Messina come through into sector 3. Interval timing's updated? No, it'll be at the end of this lap, so clear desync happened there. 3-way battle for third still going on while WGX Jerry Rick. Sterling struggling after that Raskas catch on the apex on the inside, the wall on the inside. We should get the interval timings updated now at the end of lap 36. There we go, 3.5 tenths separating Montana and Messina out on track. This is boiling down to who wants it most. In terms of penalties, Montana will be coming out on top by 9 seconds. But remember, unofficial results these will be at the end of this race. There still could be appeals or anything like that to happen. Messina tries to have a third goal around the outside of Mirabel. This time he gets the switchback done. Little bit of contact between the two. Not giving any room there, Montana. He wants to defend this. He wants to win this out on track. He does not want to win this if he goes behind into second place and then finds out Messina's got 9 seconds worth of penalties. We don't want to see that happening. In the meantime, ex-Jarry on the back of Waluigi, trying to prioritise the run now through Casino Square. Really, really heating up this race. My hands are sweating, and that is Bullet Boy on the back of this battle. That is not LRT Sterling. So don't adjust your headset, or don't adjust your screens. That is Bullet Boy just in behind that battle for P3 at this stage, while Ouija doing a great job to hold them off. Xavier and Rick on 3-lap pressure tyres. 2 laps to go, and Messina is looking very close. Is he going to score around the outside of Sander Vaught? Doesn't try it. Montana, he prioritises the run, coming through Beau Rivage. They're going to go side by side up through Beau Rivage. Now into Massenet, shooting up around the outside of Massenet. Is he going to try it? Is he going to try it? Messina down the inside. Montana gives him room. Very close. Very, very close. It's edgy stuff. My God, it's on-edge stuff here in League of Europe. This is unbelievable racing between these two. Montana and Messina, inches apart from contact. Somehow they didn't. Messina had every right to try and go around the outside and onto the inside line through Casino Square, but Montana is still holding him at bay. I do not know how this guy is still going out in front. Ex-Jarry still on the back of Waluigi and Rick in the meantime. This battle for P3 heating up. That again is Bullet Boy just in behind these guys. Hopefully he'll be fighting. Rick nearly into the back of Rick there. Sorry, Rick nearly into the back of ex-Jarry, I should say. There's Bullet Boy. I think just gives a little bit of a punt to Rick there. On to the final lap. We still don't know who is going to win this out on track. Of course, unofficial results come at the end of this race. On to the final lap. It's Montana and Messina, 6/10 of a second out in front, while Luigi in third, ex-Jarry in fourth. You can forget about them for now, as Montana leads the way. It's Messina just dropping off and saving up the ERS. He is. Montana now trying to floor it. Montana now trying to floor it. A second clear, and I think he's going to be coming out on top, and I think Messina knows it. I think Messina knows that he can't do this out on track. He's going to be fine with the penalties. Really hot battle heating up. Luigi, ex-Jarry, Rick on to the final lap. They're about 30 seconds behind. They're in fact a full first sector behind Montana and Messina as they run through Beau Rivage and Massenet once again. These three coming up through Casino Square, looking very close. Bullet Boy on the back of this as well. But Montana through to back for the final time. Messina very close to the wall there. Montana has only got a couple of corners to go between himself and a 4th consecutive victory and a 5th of the season, as YHYY has gone through and Sterling for 6th. Montana round the final corner and Anthony Noges. Montana is going to be taking the win out on track. Fantastic race. Montana takes it. Fireworks are light here in the skies above Monaco. Messina in 2nd. There is a yellow flag in sector 3. I'm not sure who that might be. It's not one of the leaders, I don't think. Waluigi hanging on for grim life in 3rd from Exjarian Rick. It's going to be nip and tuck stuck between these 3. Waluigi, Exjarian Rick, who is going to come out for the final podium. Remember, penalties do count. Waluigi, Rick, Exjari, I think they're going to be staying in this position. It's going to be Waluigi in 3rd. He gets out the final corner in front. Waluigi, I think, will be 3rd. Exjari will be 4th. Rick in 5th. That's how they are. 3 second time penalties for each. YHYY, good performance from him in 6th. Double point score for Toro Rosso as well. Good showing by them. Sterling, what could have been if he didn't have that last cast spin in 7th. And Game Boys, Bullet Boy across the line in 8th. And in 9th, sorry, and Game Boys coming across the line in 8th place. What a race. Monaco doesn't fail to disappoint in Division 1. Brilliant. Montana wins from Messina, and in 3rd place Waluigi. Breathless action in Division 1. As we now see the end of, well, the start of the podium celebrations. I'm not sure what Messina is going on with that Peruvian flag that is happening there. I think that might be possibly for Manuel Carrera? Possibly. I'm not sure if he's Argentinian or Peruvian. I'm not sure. But Montana has taken it here from Messina in 2nd. And it is Waluigi who gets that 3rd place in what has been probably an instant classic in Division 1. Here's the full rundown of the final running order. Any second now. Montana takes it. It's a Leicester flag victory for Montana. Takes it by, in the end, 10 seconds. It wasn't that easy, though, for him out on track. Messina in 2nd, while Waluigi filling out a top 3. And I've got to edge it towards... To be honest, I think Waluigi gets my drive of the day. Exjari in 4th, Rick in 5th. Look at how close that was at the end between 3rd, 4th and 5th. Less than a second. 7/10 separating 3rd, 4th and 5th. YHYY in 6th, Sterling in 7th, Game Boys in 8th, Bullet Boy in 9th, did finish. White's AI finished in 10th, not sure if the points will get counted for him. Killer Blue in 11th, Maledictus in 12th, Cantera in 13th. Cook Games out very early in the race. Hopefully we'll see him back next week. And hopefully we can see him scoring points as well as Maledictus, who didn't score any points once again here tonight. But what a thrilling end to the race here in Monaco. I am now going to tune in for some reaction on Discord and on YouTube to engage with everyone and see how that race went from a driver's perspective. My God, it was a great race from my perspective. It was absolutely unreal. It was absolutely unbelievable, and I've got to be honest, that was probably the race of the season for me. Despite the lack of numbers, that was the race of the season for me. I've got to be honest. That was absolutely brilliant. Gavra, sorry, I'm just having a look. There's no reaction on Discord. There is, however, reaction on YouTube comments coming through. Looking at Bullet Boy commenting, geez, my tyres went to 109 degrees. That is unfortunate for Bullet Boy. Still a good point scoring result for him. Front wing damage for the whole 2nd stint, says Montana, and how on earth he managed to hold off Messina is beyond me. Absolutely brilliant racing. If that didn't happen, I may have been able to hold off New Waluigi. I'm so annoyed, but it's an off race, I guess. Always come back better next time. That is my motto. Always come back better next time. Forget what happened in this race. Focus on the race ahead, which of course is next week, Russia. So I'll be saying spasiba to you all in Russia, of course, at the home of where the Winter Olympics was hosted in 2014 at the Sochi Olympic Park. I'm going to be trying to give a bit of coverage regarding some of the arenas that are around the track, that are based around the track in Sochi, and I will be looking forward to commentating on you then. as you can appreciate, my voice is going. I've got another commentary after this in about half an hour, so I will have to jump from here, have a little bit of a break, and then do it all again on Project Cars for TTG. Do tune in for that if you do want to see my commentary once again. And Ibble Paul coming in saying Russia next, great race and commentary, thank you very much. And I'm sure that felt to me as if it was one of my best commentaries so far in League of Europe. Hopefully it came across that way, and hopefully the enthusiasm was brought within. Division 2 is currently on though. If you do want to watch Division 2, there are a couple of drivers in there from a former league that I used to run in there. Qualifying just about to come to the end. Campbell out on top with a 109.2, J. Cole in second with a 109.3, and Raikkonen in third with a 109.5, with Bag of Bones and Mark just in behind fourth and fifth, with about 2 minutes left to go in qualifying. Tune in for that, or come and follow me for TTG Project Cars. I've been James Head 14 though. Take care, thank you very much for watching here, League of Europe Division 1, and until next time in Russia, goodbye.